We have some new polling to tell you about that shows you a tight general election race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In the first, from Quinnipiac University, Biden leads Trump by 3 points, 48% to 45% among registered voters. That's within the poll's margin of error. That follows polling this week that shows a neck-and-neck battle for key swing states. In the latest Bloomberg Morning Consult poll, Trump and Biden are tied at 45% in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, and in Wisconsin. Biden leads by a single point, which is within the margin of error. Very close. With us, we have special correspondent at Vanity Fair and host of the Fast Politics podcast, Molly Jong-Fast. She's an MSNBC political analyst. And also with us this morning, conservative attorney George Conway, back with us. So also, one more thing. The new polling also shows that Donald Trump has a big problem,
well, of course,
with women voters. Yeah. In the Quinnipiac University survey, 60% of women say they plan to vote for Joe Biden compared to just 35% for Trump. If that happens in November, it would be a 3-point improvement on Biden's 2020 numbers, a year when women cast more votes than ever before and turned out at higher rates than men. It would also mean a 7-point drop in support for Trump.
You know, Molly, it is. By the way, you look at these numbers, I think we're going to be seeing sort of a post-State of the Union lift for Joe Biden for quite some time, because the Republicans they're such idiots when it comes to approaching Joe Biden. And again, Newt Gingrich said it after 22, after they were idiots again and underestimated Biden and the Democrats, and they lost. And Gingrich said, you know, we just keep underestimating this guy the same way that Democrats underestimated Eisenhower and Reagan. And they kept getting beat. So here we go again. And again, we have a special election, not in Massachusetts, right? Not in the Berkshires, but in Alabama.
Oh, wow, yeah.
In a Republican district. And a woman running on IVF, running on women's issues that impact men,
Marilyn
too.
Lands.
She wins in a landslide in Alabama. And now you're looking at this polling things. And again,
she's going to be on today.
We're only in March. We're only in March. And, you know, all these Democrats that have been whining so much, the numbers are showing it's going to be a tight race. But you know what? There's a reason the Biden administration, why people in this White House are as confident as they are. They believe they've got a candidate that they can pound politically from now until November, and they believe that they have an issue in women's rights, women's health care, and democracy that are going to carry them and Democrats to victory. And my God, if you've looked at anything over the past couple of years, you got to say, well, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama is such a great example because they really painted themselves into a corner with this idea that a 5-celled embryo is somehow a person. And you saw it stopped IVF in the state. Then the governor indemnified IVF clinics. So that means if you kill a 5-celled embryonic person, you are somehow legally okay. I mean, this is what happens, and this has happened a lot with Republican legislation. They sort of never think through the legislation, so they decide embryos are people, and this won't cause any problems. And in fact, it causes problems with birth control and IVF. And now you're seeing, I mean, in Alabama, the Democrat won by 23 points. Like, this is not normal. This is an electorate that is really worried that they're not going to be able to get birth control and IVF and the things that we, these miracles of modern science that we that make America great, right?
Well, it's not just a miracle of modern science, which again, extraordinary. And I don't know a family that's not touched by it, including our own. And it's just glorious for moms and dads that don't think they're going to be able to have babies, to be able to have babies. That's the positive side of it as we talk about it. On the negative side, I'm just reading this ABC News headline.
Just chilling.
A 13-year-old rape victim. Let's just stop right there. Think about it, moms and dads, grandmoms and granddads. Because of Donald Trump, who has bragged repeatedly that he terminated a woman's right to choose. Because of Donald Trump, young rape victims are having state-forced births. And in this case, a 13-year-old rape victim has baby amid confusion
And the DNA
over
from
the state's
baby
ban.
actually is how they convicted the rapist. This little girl was raped in a yard and was too scared to talk about it. And her mother only found out about this when she went to the hospital very sick. And then that is when the chaos started for this mom who worked several jobs, was living on the edge, just trying to get by. She noticed her daughter had become withdrawn, was changing, and then, of course, this revelation in the hospital. But there was all this confusion. Can you get the abortion health care you need? They didn't know. People were talking to her about her having to leave the state, and this mom didn't have the $1,500 or whatever was necessary to get to another state, literally had to decide on going through with the pregnancy because she didn't understand what was available to her because of all the new laws in place. People were giving her the sense that she would have to leave the state to get an abortion.
And Molly, doctors.
She actually would have applied. It actually would have applied to her.
Yeah, doctors don't understand a lot of times. A lot of times the doctors are scared to perform this because Donald Trump bragged about terminating Roe v. Wade and bragged about sending it to the states. And then the state legislatures, as you said, they make the most extreme bills to play to their most extreme elements. And you end up having 10-year-old rape victims in Ohio having to flee the state, 13-year-old rape victims here, just confused, having to carry the baby to term because they were raped. And this is Donald Trump's America now. This is Donald Trump's America.
And I would add that it is, this post-Roe America is actually not a very safe place to be a pregnant woman. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing doctors. I mean, this Lift Louisiana report out last week showed that in Louisiana, doctors try to treat, the OBGYNs are trying to treat after 12 weeks because they're worried about getting blamed for miscarriages because before 12 weeks, you're much more likely to miscarry. I mean, this is crazy. We're already a country that really struggles with maternal fetal health, and it's only getting worse in this post-Roe America. And look, in 1973, the reason that Roe v. Wade was decided so broadly by a fairly conservative court was because of doctors.
If it makes you feel any better, I have already put evac on alert. He's ready to go if it comes to that. General, I can assure you.
Hey, General, let me into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Wheelie.
Sir, come on, when is it not, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I'll assume that we're good on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
The Megatron.
This was just a diversion. Security, please bring up. Ravage, he's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name? What was it?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We are facing a heavy sustained attack. They appear to be after the Allspark.